Why hello there YouTube, and welcome to a Flowcat video. In the background of this video I'm gonna have an Artifact Strongbox session playing, so you can see me gamble away some really bad pieces for some potentially okay pieces. And it went alright. I got some okay pieces, but it's really hard to tell before you roll them if it's like even worth it or not, you know? Like you could have an amazing piece and it could just roll into a really bad stat. So, you know, perfect artifacts never exist. They don't exist. I refuse to believe it. And that is why I expect mediocrity. No, but really, I think expecting too much out of the RNG just leaves you wanting most of the time. Other than that, today I would like to give my first impressions on Kirara. I was not expecting this, but I'm just gonna go ahead and throw the clip in right here of, well, you shall see. There we go. Well, here we are. Genshin Dark Mode title screen. I would love that. That would be really nice. All right, give me a Kirara, please. One Kirara, please. You can't argue with that. You can't argue with that. It's destiny. You're Flowcat. You love cats, and that's just the way it goes. I think I already bought out the. Yeah. Okay. Wow. Asking you shall receive. And that is what I call destiny, fate. And I really enjoy her kit even at C0. I went ahead and started building her because I wanted to see what she was capable of, and upon examining her kit and doing her little trial, I feel like she's a surprisingly good unit. She brings sort of like a generally good amount of value to any team, with her burst scaling being rather high, as well as her shield being rather chonky. And so far, I see that people have two primary ways of building her. Some people just throw as much HP on her as possible to turn her into a shield slave bot, so in that situation, her damage is lacking a lot. And some people are building her for DPS to kind of turn her into like a kitty box dendro driver slash burst DPS, and sacrificing a lot of the shield strength in the process. Personally, I always favor hybridized builds. I never really want to build a unit so that they're just a support and all the value they provide is like just a shield or something, because I just don't feel like that's enough. Even if you do hybrid builds for most support units, the amount of healing and the amount of shield that they provide is more than sufficient for most of the content, like almost all the time. For Kirara, for example, I'm using an HP Sands, a Dendro Goblet, and a crit headpiece. Along with some stat balancing within the artifacts themselves, I feel like you can kind of balance out her crit rate. Having Jade Cutter helps a lot. And it allows you to hit this really nice middle ground between having a pretty decently strong shield and being able to dish out decent amounts of damage. I do think that hybrid builds are often harder to pull off than like a full support build or anything like that, but that's what makes them interesting to me, is that there's sort of a challenge with it. You have to balance a crit ratio while maintaining a certain level of main stat to make sure that their support capability still functions well enough for the teams, and, you know, managing energy recharge as well as any other substats they might need, like elemental mastery, can turn it into a fun and interesting challenge. Currently, my Kirara really isn't that well built, so there's nothing to really write home about here. I just don't really have anything to show or anything, but as time goes on, I would like to explore more team possibilities for her. One thing I do want to mention is that she has very little off-field Dendro application, the only source being the bombs that she leaves, or if you have the C4. Overall, I feel like her kit is really well put together at C0, and I feel like constellations for her are sort of just like bonus on top. They don't really change too much about her other than like her C4 or her C1. The C4 does give her a source of off-field Dendro application, which is pretty nice. And her C1 simply increases the amount of off-field Dendro application through the use of more bombs. Other than that, though, pretty much nothing else changes with her kit as you take her up in Constellation. She provides a little more damage amplification at C6, and at C2 you'll gain the ability to run into your friends in co-op and provide them with a Kitty Shield. I'm looking forward to building her up more and seeing what I can do with her in the future. But yeah, to be totally honest, I really didn't play much Genshin this week at all. I have been super busy. I outlined the details of my busyness in my most recent Just Chatting live stream, but the short of it is that I am moving. I am acquiring house. I will be changing locations very soon. Things are moving along quickly, and I am very much looking forward to having a dedicated streaming / content creation studio space. This will allow me to make massive improvements to my content in the very near future, and I'll be able to stream more. And while I'm very excited about this, I do have to admit that it's left me pretty drained and pretty busy. I just haven't had as much time to sit down and play video games the past couple weeks. But of course, this will pass and things will calm down after a little while. Just know that in the meantime, I may need some days off from, streaming and stuff like that, just to recoup from all the stresses of home buying. And really, that's all I have to talk about this week. I know it is a short video, but hey, sometimes I'm just not going to have a lot to bring you. And you know what? At least I made a video. I did the thing. And for that, I'm proud of myself, and I hope you are too. I will say, if you want to support me, Patreon is probably the best way to do that. You can also get a channel membership or do whatever else you feel like you should do, but you should definitely like the video, subscribe for future content, maybe leave a comment down below, maybe check out one of my live streams. I'll leave it up to you, but just throwing it out there. And that is going to bring us to the end of this video. Until next time, stay healthy, stay hydrated. Peace, everybody.